Okay, hello guys, and welcome to the second episode of my build style tutorial. I am Jack H, and this time we are doing Elven architecture. Now, once again, guys, this is just how I do Elven architecture. It's by no means the only way, and there are many other ways, and they are all perfectly good. So let's jump straight into it. Even it's going to be same way as last time. I have some different exhibits around here to show you how I do different things. So this over here is my basement wall design for Elven buildings. You can see it's quite a lot more ornate than the medieval ones we had over there. It's also a lot sort of lighter, and that's something you'll notice about all of these, is the textures and the colours are much sort of clearer and lighter. And that helps to create this sort of light area Elven feeling, because when you think of Elven things, at least I do, I tend to think of sort of a bit sort of light and fairy. So this kind of helps to add on to that. The use of sandstone as well makes adds a bit of a light colour without being sort of over bright or rainbow or anything like that. And the fence here helps create that sort of delicacy to the Elven style. And that's very easy to build. It's just on the back here, it's alternating sandstone and stone brick blocks. 2 lots of stone brick up the sides there. Stairs just onto there. Slabs and stairs alternated here. Cobblestone fences. Then fences on the back alternated with double stone slab blocks. Very simple, and I think very nice. So on to the second exhibit. This is a very simple Elven wall. This is sort of an unadorned one. You'll notice this is a lot more decorated than the one over there we had before for the in the medieval tutorial, style tutorial. And again, using these lighter textures, so the double stone brick slabs, the stone brick, less of the dark woods, and also less woods in general, which tends to help. Because a lot of the woods are quite dark. Although the birch, so I use the birch a lot and things, but apart from that, it's got a texture. Part of the fences, they obviously would. But use the same textures here. I've used a lot of these, what are they called? Cobblestone walls, that's it. Around in this style, because they had the sort of lightness of texture that I'm looking for. But also, they hope to add, they're a very easy way of adding dimension, and there's no block that's shaped quite like them, which adds a lot of great dimension very easily. So that is a fairly unadorned Elven wall there. This over here is a very basic 2-story one. Again, we have that similar overhang, except again it's still more adorned. And the bottom section is exactly the same, except on the top, obviously you take these ones here down if you're building it inside a building. And you probably want to put another layer on the back here as well, because you don't want that showing. It's a bit ugly on the back. So on the front, the bottom is the same. Up here, I've used a bit of the wood there, and these they're almost like upside down buttresses. They help to create some sort of support to the building. And I'll referring back to what I said in the previous episode. I said about looking at the physics of your buildings. Notice in this, there's an awful lot of stone, so I'm allowed to use stone on top because there's so much stone supporting it on here. So that would work in the real world. Therefore, I've allowed it to be used here. You notice I've used a lot of upside down stairs as well in the style, such as this one here. Just sort of create little nooks. These helped add a great little bit of dimension, which I think really works. So on to the next one around here. This is a sort of a small window. Notice this is quite different from this sort of one here, but I thought it adds a bit more variation. Using all the same materials, but use a lot more sandstone here, and it's quite nice and wide around this side. It's a lot more light than the sort of just really small, almost porthole windows I used a lot in the medieval style. This is a lot more open, which I think really works. So yes, that's a window wall section. A very nice design, I believe. Now this is a much bigger window section. As you can see, this is like it's a lot more light. But I've disguised quite a lot of these, so it's not this huge big sort of cross of glass in the middle is still decorated. And these helps create some sort of ports over the things, the windows I'll call them, which I think personally I think really works. And again, this is much more similar to this wall section than that one. That one used a lot more sandstone. This one has kept with it a bit more. And this lets in an awful lot of light. So this I've used on the example building there, which I'll get to at the end. I've used these on the ends to let in a bit of light on the end, and I think they really work in that instance. This here is a very simple door. I've tried to make it quite sort of surrounded by stone to create quite a grand look, because the Elven are quite a grand people. Sorry if that was a really loud noise. It sounds really loud to me, not sure it is recording very loud. And yeah, so I've used a lot of the bigger stone blocks around here, so the stairs and things, to create a very kind of chunky doorway, which I think makes it look fortified and also much more grand, which is a very sort of Elven feature. And that is also strongly based off that one. It's not really that much modification made to it, apart from just obviously putting in the door frame. Then over here we have an arch. This is basically exactly the same, except without the door in it, and I have just noticed that I haven't done it there. Why have I not done that? I haven't put these in, have I? Watch that now quickly. Imagine I'd done that before. Forget about those. So that's exactly the same, except the door taken out for that stone behind there. Like, you can obviously move that if you want to put like another wall covering on the inside. There. So that is an art section. Now, moving quickly and swiftly onto roofs. A lot of these here, these aren't innately Elven. What makes something Elven, or look Elven, it's not Elven, it's still Minecraft, but what makes something look very Elven is almost always the roofs. And this is because they're very sort of fantasy inspired. They have this sort of long sort of arching bow thing here. And they often have these little, I'm trying to make some little sort of heady, serpenty head things on the end. They're very small, but and this is used through and a very something to look out for or to do when you're making Elven roofs is be very careful of the profile. It's generally an arch, but unlike the sort of the arch we're going through here, so like a concave, these are very much convex. You'll want to go up a lot more blocks per one you move in. That's probably a better way of describing it than that, but much more at the bottom than at the top. You can see at the top here I've just done 1 and 3 and then 4 and then 5. I think here it is 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, yeah. And that helps create that much more Elven roof profile. And I've decorated it in the end here using a lot of blocks, non-full blocks to add a lot of dimension there, which I think really works. And sorry, frame rate dropped there. Sorry if you saw that. My computer. This one over here is exactly the same, except it's used quartz. Quartz is something often used on sort of the grander Elven buildings. These work. This birch, which this is here, works a lot better for like small houses and that sort of thing, and townhouses. This tends to work a lot better for large buildings. There's something I've been working on for a while that is in the Elven style. Well, it's a similar Elven style. It's not quite the same, but it uses a lot of, in fact, the whole roof, I think, in fact, of quartz. And that's because it's a much grander structure, and quartz is a much richer material than the wood, which helps create that sort of air of Elven grandness, really. Now, these last 2 examples over here are how I do roof windows. Is what I'm trying to say. I keep losing my train of thought. Roof windows, yes. And I just gone to turn that rain off. There we are. Sorry if that's very loud. Wait for it to die away. Please go away. Please go away. Please. Thank you for going away. Now, this here is a roof window. And again, it's used this fairly convex sort of style. It's not so prominent, but obviously, if you're going to do this, because this is a very narrow wall piece, it's really only 5. Obviously, it branches out at the end. This is another thing of the Elven style, actually, which I didn't, Elven roof style, which I didn't point out earlier, is they often curve out towards the end. Let's create that sort of the point on the end up here. Anyway, down to this down here. This would be much more the convex arch shape would be much more prominent if the roof section was rather a lot wider. But unfortunately for these purposes it can't be because of my podium sizes. But you get the idea of how this works here. And also on this scale, I find it good to put in stairs like this because here isn't really necessary because it's wide enough that it looks like a curve. But if you don't put these in there at the moment, it looks too square because it's only 3 blocks wide. So these stairs just putting that helps. That's something I do. If I've got if I'm working with a very narrow section, just add a bit of extra curvature in there. And again, a wide open window, something very reminiscent of the Elven style. And back over here, finally, again, it's using the quartz style. I thought there was something wrong there because that, but anyway, using quartz, this again create that extra air of grandness, and these also help. These little serpenty, whatever they're meant to be, sort of heads on the end, also help to add on to that. Anyway, I think that just about summarizes everything that I've built here for this Elven style tutorial. Be sure to put in the comments what you'd like to see as the next style. I'm always open to suggestions, and I'll try my best with any style. I've done it before or not. I'll try and develop a style of what you ask. Okay, guys. So let's have a look at what happens when you culminate all these styles into one. So this is a quick example that I've thrown together to illustrate what can be made using these pieces. A lot of these pieces are quite modular, so I've used a lot of these. You can see a lot of these you'll recognise from a few minutes ago. So let's head on inside. There's not really actually anything to see, so we'll go at the back and have a look, and it's full of bats. You might have heard that. There's some somewhere. Sorry, I heard them. Yeah, there's one, for example. There's plenty upstairs in this upper floor as well, I think. Anyway, so this here is the combination of all those styles, obviously. And you can see, first of all, here we've got the main sort of grand door section. It does look quite grand, although it does kind of blend in a bit because you use a lot of these materials, these sort of things like the stone brick and the stone slabs. But it is quite grand, and this sort of grand staircase in the front also helps with that. Here we have the what do I mean? The window sections, not the do-what's, the window sections. These are the smaller window sections, which I think really work well here. And on the end here, I've just used the and that shouldn't be like that, should it? I swear that shouldn't be like that. What should that be like? I think it should just be a block there. That'll do. Anyway, this here is one of the sort of very basic wall sections which I've used here, just to kind of border off, because I don't really want a window in the corner, because then it looks a bit ugly on the inside. So that's why I've done that, and obviously the same here. Then here I've used one of the wider wall sections to sort of centre off the end, which I think works well there. And obviously another plain section there and there. On the back, again, we've used the smaller windows, but still quite wide and much bigger than the medieval ones. Another lot from back here, although I didn't build a thing going down from there. I could go by that, but imagine there's one there. Just I'm sure I'll Photoshop one on or something. Even though I don't have Photoshop. But anyway, and again we have a small window section there and that there, and same on the back and same around there. Now up onto this one here, I've used the top section of so the second floor, bit there. And I've just sort of put in some windows at regular intervals. You can just sort of take out these sandstone blocks whenever you really wish, and put in the panes, and that tends to work as some very nice basic windows on the ends. Again, I'll just put one in the centre there, and it's the same on the back, and the same on this side here. Now moving on to the roof. This roof is a key example of something which you will often find to be a problem when building elven roofs, if you build them as I've instructed here with the convex arches. Is that if you have a building which is like whatever this is, 5 wide, you have a roof which is not too tall but looks nice. It looks kind of very medieval based. Sorry, not medieval based. What is it medieval based? But fantasy based mostly. It works well. And if you have a huge building, you get this huge cavernous roof in the inside. It looks really grand. Looks really good on the outside. However, this building is sort of the mongrel in between them, in the fact that it's not quite big enough so that the roof looks huge and the roof needs to look huge and grand. But on the other side, it's too wide that it can't look a bit huge and grand. So this is one of the problems you might find when building medium-sized buildings, is that the roof will tend to dwarf the rest of it. As you can see, the roof is about twice as high as the rest of the building put together, almost maybe 1.5 times as high. That's a problem you may come across. On the ends here, I've just quickly decorated these up using all the materials we've been using, trying to create some sort of simple art there, like a sort of an archy flare thing, and then some little arches there. And I think that's worked fairly well. This is obviously, you can see, is a much larger example of those over there, using the concave sort of roof shape there. And if I had a bit more time, I could probably sort of merge in a bit rather than having these in straight lines. You can sort of wavy them down a bit. Tends to look a bit nicer, but for the purposes of tutorial, this is fine. And then the same on this end here. And I do believe that just about summarises up this sort of culmination effort here. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll be sure to see you next time in the 3rd episode of the build style tutorial. I am Jack H, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.